Free services, Lavazzi and Who1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 599. I'm Adam and here's Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
Because fire prevention is the responsibility of every citizen, so get a smoke detector.
Mary Lang.
Whatever I said last week.
2 weeks ago.
And yes, 2 episodes running is Debbie Melrose.
It's a burger. I always bring a snack, but I don't want it now. He's put me off my dinner.
This week it's the Return of Doctor Mysterio. Very briefly, because I like doing it briefly.
A Christmas special.
Wait a second. I don't remember anything about burger. He had sushi.
What?
It says burger here.
Anyway, but before we move on to that bit...
I remember sushi too. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm using the burger quote from that I found on the script.
Yeah, and that sushi looked good.
All right, then it's sushi. I brought a snack. There you go.
Yeah, he did bring it. I do remember him saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went from the script rather than watching it again, so, yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Proves I did watch it again.
Thank you for that.
Why not?
Caught you out, did we?
You did. No, I've not been very well this week. I got concrud, so...
Hang on, you've not been very well, yet you're on the show.
Yeah, I've been poorly. Isla's been really poorly.
But you're on the show.
From what con?
Well, FantasyCon last week.
That's right, blame me.
And Master, you were at a convention yesterday?
Yeah, hang on, we haven't started... Right. Talk about getting distracted. Hang on, let's fucking find appropriate... Hang on. Let's see if I can get this right.
It's so cheerful.
Gold. Hang on, maybe it's on the... Maybe there's no spaces.
Okay,
What?
Debbie.
What?
Yes.
Debbie, you're correct. The burger was later when he popped up on their little video when they thought they were looking in the past.
Yeah.
But I was referring to the sushi, which was earlier.
Okay, right. Kirby. Kirby?
Yes.
Master?
Yeah, the sushi is all I remember.
No, ABA!
That's a good one.
Right, so the Return of Doctor Mysterio. So it's like Debbie alluded to, Christmas special, in which there's the Doctor sort of is upside down, hanging outside of a window while he's caught on a cable that's just about to arc and break, and is allowed into this little boy's room. Does sound a bit dodgy, to be fair, by his mum. Sounds even more dodgy.
Yeah, Master. You know what would have happened if he had continued to swing like that forever? It would have been Arc of Infinity.
Anyway, so he sort of quickly befriends this little chap, and somewhere along the line he gives him this crystal-y thing, jewel of some variety, and he thinks it's medicine. And he swallows it and becomes a superhero, which is quite cool. I like the way that happened, to be fair. And then we see little aspects of his childhood in which he has trouble when he's a teenager because he fancies this bird and who's walking down the corridor, and when he gets aroused he floats in the air, and all sorts of things that are you can see. He's got X-ray vision which he can't control, and so he can see. To us, admit, everybody, if that were me, I wouldn't be looking away. To be fair, I'll be.
Well, it already struck me as strange, because if he truly had X-ray vision, he'd be seeing their bones, not just through what.
Yeah, maybe so, but still, you can still. That film that was with the man with the X-ray eyes. It's an old film. When his eyes were becoming more and more X-ray-y, the first thing he could do is see naked people before he could see through into.
Yes, it progresses, doesn't it? Yeah.
So I think for the benefit of a Christmas evening family show, we'll just go with the, he can just see through the clothes, but he has no control over it, etc., etc. Anyway, so we get
Master, you do remember that the girl that he was fancying in high school or whenever it was still Lucy.
Yes, I know that. I did work that out, Kirby. I was watching the episode. Anyway, so in amongst all this, he's grown up and he's a superhero. He's also a nanny. That's fairly obvious who's who, because there's a reference, because the Doctor does say a pair of glasses helps you disguise a superhero. I've got a sneeze coming, by the way, so I might have to pause in a moment. And then there's this other thing going on at the same time where these sort of the aliens that were in the previous story are trying to take over the world. By nicking the brain,
Harmony Shoal, yes.
Harmony Shoal, by nicking the brains out of people's bodies and replacing them with the brains they want in there, so they can sort of take over the world leaders and stuff like that, and take over the world, etc., etc. A traditional sort of comic book style storyline, which of course. There's Nardole, who's now back with us because the Doctor apparently, and this is one of my contentious issues, put him back together again.
What do you mean contentious
issues? Is he like a robot-y type thing then?
Yeah, it gets recast.
Well, that makes sense then. Sorry, I've forgotten that he was an androidy robot-y thing. So that's fine. I can live with that.
But yeah, I had no problem with that because it's a science fiction fantasy TV show.
I'd have a problem with the Doctor being able to do a medical thing of sticking a person back together again. I've never known, unless you can remind me of something like that happening before.
He's a doctor.
It's just a huge ballooning title. He can do anything,
All right, well,
umbrella title. I mean,
Okay, I'll let it ride. It's a Doctor.
Let it slide.
Yeah, it's fine. So anyway, there's all this stuff going on.
Master. You know what those brains reminded me of?
Brains?
Yeah.
No, they remind me of the brains from Keys of Marinus.
Okay, well, that was a brain.
One of the cool things I liked about that story, because I didn't like that story.
What about the brains from Bremen of Morbius? Can you say it? Brain of Morbius. What about the brains from that ancient episode we watched back in the black and white days? What about the brains from that Star Trek story? That's funny. They're all brains.
No, the ancient episode would have been Keys of Marinus. But
that's what I meant. Yes, all right, whatever. Which is brilliant, by the way, Kirby. Where did I get up to?
Go back and listen to the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast where we discussed it.
No, shut up.
I was very much a Mary on that one.
A marionette one. Anyway, so there's this stuff going on in this building where these surgeons, one of which was John Davy actually in a later part of the episode. So they take their person, they get them into this vault. And there was this German chap, wasn't there, that who's in control of the whole situation. And yeah, I've forgot where I got up to now. Thanks, Kirby. I just remember there being lots of the flirting between Lucy and the babysitter, who obviously is in love, and he's obviously the superhero, and she's a reporter, and she goes and infiltrates what's going on in the building.
Master, I love the whole bit where it's basically a riffing on the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Oh, I want to see that. It's in the cinema, isn't it? It's a special documentary film. I want to go and see that. Just sort of by sidetracking slightly.
Actually, yeah, I saw that what that was about. I want to go and see that.
Yes, I must try. I haven't been in the cinema for ages, and I'm paying for it. I
was in the cinema just last week watching a silent movie.
Okay,
that looked cool.
Just because I'm finding it very difficult getting for an extremely short synopsis of a not so long story.
Which is going on for an hour.
Yeah, I could always skip to the end and bypass it completely. Lillian Robbins says...
Anytime Adam says short, Kirby just sort of flexes and goes, right.
Well, don't worry, I have full control. Lillian Robbins says, hi, then she says, and hi Neil James for answering my question an hour ago. And Terry Miles says, evening everybody. So
evening.
Here it is, Mary... Oh, that's the wrong song, isn't it? And then Adam Pearson feedback sent. Thank you, Terry. At least somebody did it. Right then. So anyway, back to the Doctor Mysterio episode. So to cut a long story short, they end up in this spaceship.
Yes, it is a very long story. It's longer than
They
most.
end up, Nardole and the Doctor end up in this spaceship, which they're flying at very high speed or crashing at very high speed into New York, obviously, and there's a scene in which he's trying to. This is the G-Man, whatever it's called, is trying to sort of finally get around to telling Lucy that he is the superhero, and he takes his mask off and she's sort of hiding her face. What?
The name of the character is the Ghost.
The Ghost, that's it. But of course, he's looking into her hands, and he whizzes off to mind the baby and save somebody from falling from a high flying building. And all sorts of things.
Isn't that the title of a Mr. Bean episode? Mind the baby, Mr. Bean.
Wouldn't know.
Anyway,
What?
ultimately they try and kidnap him because they want his brain, but of course he's a superhero, so he easily gets out of that one. Of course, they threaten Lucy with the gun and stuff like that, and then the Doctor turns up with Nardole, and their plans get scuppered in so many ways I couldn't say. Anyway, to cut a even longer story short, the Doctor and Nardole win out. The Ghost, I'm sure there was a bit previous time I watched it that the little sweetie thing that made him a superhero gets taken out of him, but that didn't actually happen as far as I can.
No,
They
he
still
gets
show
to
that it's in him at the very end.
He's still a superhero. And
yeah, he gets to keep it. Yeah.
no, lucky him.
I just don't understand how he lived with himself by knowing that he could still be a superhero for everyone, but decided to not be. I mean, what about all the people that need his help?
The only thing for me that sort of bypassed
They left it open.
the bit. There was a bit when the end when the Doctor sort of he's only just left River and knows she's dead and stuff like that. So Nardole was trying to say, he's trying to sort of get over it. But there was a scene where the unit were in the building tidying everything up, but one of the unit soldiers had been taken over by one of these brain things.
The brain.
Yeah, but now the only thing I got from that was I thought they needed 3 surgeons to do this particular work, to change them in. It seemed that bit must have done quite quickly because he'd only just had a word with this chap, and he turns up and he's got these flickering eyes, and he's
That's right
these...
at the end. Yeah, it's like they leave it open.
I know, but that didn't make sense to me because I thought they'd already arrested the surgeons, and so therefore there wouldn't have been anybody to perform the operation.
No, I thought they converted that person beforehand.
Did they? I don't know. All right, anyway, so before I say what I think of this particular tale, we have more feedback coming through on the live feed at the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast Facebook group, which you can join. Neil James says, "Oh, hi, Lillian." And then
Oh dear, the flirting continues.
Do I have to buy a hat yet?
Neil says, "Sorry, I'm still a few episodes behind." With what, Doctor Who or us? Being behind on our show is almost criminal, considering we've hardly been doing any podcasts at all in the last 2 months. But anyway,
Yeah.
The last time me, Debbie, Mary, and Kirby were together on a podcast must have been about 6 months ago. Anyway, so he says, "I will be absolutely caught up by the time for next week's podcast." Okay, so will I. Next week? Oh, no, he says next podcast, not next week's podcast. Probably just as well not to say next week's podcast. Anyway, so this particular tale is actually probably higher up on my Christmas special list, to be fair, because they didn't bang on about Christmas. They did mention it, but they didn't. And there wasn't that much snow, which
only a bit.
makes it
Token
more
snow.
realistic. Yeah, and it was a homage to comic books and stuff like that, which I thought was done rather well. And the accents weren't too bad for the American accents. I didn't. There's a couple of phonetically pronounced words that sounded a bit odd, but on the whole, I felt they were in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Capaldi was rather superb.
Well, yeah. Seeing that the actress who played whatever her name was is British. Charity Wakefield is the actress, but Justin Chatwin is Canadian, so he's more likely to have an American.
Okay. But anyway, I quite enjoyed this particular standalone episode. I thought obviously the alien was a bit silly, but all in all, it was a very good Christmas romp. Well, a romp that had loose connections with Christmas. So yes, it's got the thumbs up from me. I enjoyed it. What did you think about it then, Debbie?
Yeah, again, this is one of the better Christmas episodes, absolutely. Music's brilliant, the sets are fantastic, and as I said, I haven't watched it, but I watched it like 4 or 5 times when it was originally out, and I've seen it since. So, yeah, this one stands out as a great one for kids, especially because a brain is always scary, but Halloweenish. It's right for this time of year, definitely. But yeah, who doesn't love a good old brain story, And I just find the whole idea of him, the stone that he swallows, taking everything from his imagination and making him the superhero because of his love for comic books.
Yeah.
And that sort of says to a lot of people like me, who is obsessed with comics and manga and things like that. You're not a nerd. You can be absolutely the superhero you want to be, and it just was like an affirming message at Christmas that just left you with that good Christmassy feeling, and it just did everything it needed to as a Christmas special. But it also was a way of the Doctor sort of getting back in the saddle. Bless you.
Oh my.
Way of the Doctor getting in the saddle again, and after losing River, and you've got Nardole, who really you can't go wrong with. He's just, I know he's comic relief, but he's also like almost the Doctor's conscience throughout the next season. And just, yeah, it was a cracking, spanking Christmas episode compared to some of the ones we had lately.
Debbie,
Yeah?
Debbie, you even said 8 years ago that Isla liked this one.
Oh, yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. Absolutely love this one. And she's quite scared of Doctor Who now, thanks to the Puppet Master. But there you go. It's like we go through phases. She'll watch it, then she won't. She'll watch it, then she won't. But if there's a Christmas special, she will try and watch it. But the last one, obviously, maybe not. But this one, yeah, just brilliant. I'm all for superheroes anyway. I think I love like all the Marvel stuff and original Superman. Any homage to Christopher Reeve Superman is just brilliant.
Yes.
I spent so many years in orchestra playing the theme tune from that Superman. It has such a great place in my heart.
Oh,
that
yeah.
film music. So yeah, this homage was just all thumbs up for me, definitely.
Thank you, Debbie. What about you then, Kirby? What do you think?
Oh, I was kind of surprised because this came out 8 years ago, and I watched it many, many times when it first came out. Even like 2 days after it was broadcast, I was at the movie theater watching it with the Hulanta people as well, and enjoying it then. I absolutely love this one. I'd forgotten though how good it was because it's been 8 years since I've seen it. I don't know why. It's just so full of fun, and I love all the references, all the Superman references, and the Spider-Man references, and the Doctor Who references. Did you notice that in the New York Street, the movie theater marquee says "Mind of Evil"?
Mm-hmm. Foreshadowing.
And it's just so much fun. I there's not much more I can say about it. And Mary, don't disappoint me because I have a feeling you're gonna disappoint me.
Well, let's find out.
And
Oh, no, we don't.
I listened to you. Just remember, I listened to you yesterday.
Like I say, let's find out.
Well, I found it simplistic and tedious. I had a hard time staying with it. Now, am I disappointing you?
Everyone's allowed their opinion.
Yes, because you
not disappointed.
you didn't go super enthusiastic, but you liked it, and you liked Nardole.
Oh,
Because
well,
we had barely seen Nardole.
the best thing
Now
about
we've seen
this
enough
episode,
Nardole for Mary to have a different opinion.
the best thing about this episode was Capaldi. I thought whenever it was his turn to deliver lines, I think he's a master at it, which of course I would expect him to be. And so I found him entertaining and amusing.
Oh yeah.
But everything else, I mean, the story, like I said, is super simplistic. It's been done a million times. And yeah, like I said, it bothered me that this kid, with his X-ray vision, can only look through like one layer of clothes, which that's not really X-ray vision. I don't know. I just kept finding other things to do and to think about, and I would lose track of the story. It was predictable from start to finish. And, even though there are some, kind of fun lines in it, like I said, Capaldi always delivered his beautifully. I was bored and, feeling like give me something new, give me something interesting and fun. But this wasn't it. No, it definitely wasn't it.
I thought I was Tony Blackburn for a moment. I could hear Arnold barking in the background. Only people of my age will remember Tony Blackburn and Arnold.
There's a dog in the neighborhood that's barking, but my goodness, he's far away. I'm surprised you're hearing him.
Oh, no, we can hear him. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mary.
Master.
No.
I almost forgot one of the things. They're just so full of classic. It's so full of classic superhero things that
that's my problem. It's so full of classic stuff that you know exactly where, if this was intended for young kids, like, 8, 9-year-olds, I'd say, well done, because they would find it a lot of fun and interesting. But for adults who've seen all this before, okay, I'm sorry.
There's subtle things, like if you hadn't actually noticed these things, like a lot of, like in the, I'm not sure if it's mostly Marvel, because it occurs with lots of Marvel superheroes where they have character names start with the same letter. Like in this case, it was Grant Gordon, and Lucy Fletcher's original name was Lucy Lombard until she got married, and so you have that Peter Parker. J. Jonah Jameson, all of that. So I loved that. One of the first things I noticed while watching it. It's just so much fun, and it's a science fiction fantasy TV show.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I think we should move on to the feedback section of the show for at least
let me refresh. You don't always give me a chance
it's coming
to
up next. I thought a refreshment.
I have a feeling there's nothing there.
Okay.
There are 3 comments, but
right.
They are Lillian asking if we're running late, Neil James saying that the clocks went back, and my apology.
What's it?
That's great feedback, though. All working together as a community.
Although 36 people read the request for feedback, why aren't they feeding back?
It's up that a lot of people feel the same way about it as Mary, so there you go.
No, they don't. Everyone that I know of who's seen it. And, believe it or not, 8 years ago, even Fred contributed feedback on the podcast.
It always makes a difference if I watch it with Isla and she loves it. It increases my enjoyment, especially of Christmas episodes, exponentially.
Oh, so, yeah. If you're watching it with a kid, I can see with the kids' enjoyment enhancing yours, yeah.
And they're reacting exactly the way that they want the writers want you to react, and they don't necessarily know all the lore, but just watching her react it's always a way that absolutely elevates any episode of Doctor Who to greatness for me. If Isla likes it, that's it. We're on a win.
Yeah.
So anyway. I sent. If there's nothing, I sent something for Mary to dictate.
Yes, you did.
Yay!
It's from the Mileses, and they say, "Well,
miles and miles."
Well, it's the Christmas special by Stephen Moffat. Bring on the snow. Oh no, it's a cartoon. No, he's real. Ah, there's the snow. That's the Doctor hanging about. Ah, New York, not New York, but the original.
Look at the name 10 times.
Yeah. So Mom expects old guys climbing in her child's window.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Ah, the Doctor and Heath Robinson devices. Fancy giving a kid with a cold a gemstone that looks like a medicine. So the Doctor has made a superhero. Oh, dear. This is way too Superman, and that looks like the Daily Planet building.
Excellent article.
Excellent Nardole is the best companion. Mr. Sim looks a bit dodgy. Oh, a room full of brains. Very Futurama. Where's Fry? Better than that, they have the ghost. So little brains are going to take over the planet? Ah, the ghost is a baby's nanny. Oh dear, a teenage superhero with X-ray vision. Every teenager's wish. Ah, the old spaceship in orbit around the Earth trick. Oh no, it's the nanny. Those naughty aliens are in trouble now. Ah, at last, UNIT are around. Some very good quotes. Doctor, you're not looking at anyone. Are you shy now? Is that floor really interesting? Grant, I'm not shy. I just can't stop it. Can't stop what? X-ray vision. Oh, I'm in teen hell. I just can't look at people. The doctor, shall we pop over and have a look? Pretty sure no one's on board. Nardole, how do you know? Did you scan for life forms? Doctor, no, all the lights are off. Doctor, take a look at him. That's why you don't stand a chance. You want to know why? He's actually left-handed. Grant, sorry, instinct. I couldn't let go of this. The baby alarm. Lucy, so what powers do you have? Grant, well, basic flying, basic super strength, basic X-ray vision. Yep. Was that ever tempting? Adolescence was difficult. In what sense? It was difficult. In what way?
Mary.
Yes?
Adolescence was difficult.
He's trying to do the voice, Mary.
I have to say it with the gravelly voice.
Oh, adolescence was difficult. Yeah. In what sense? It was difficult. In what way? It went on a lot longer. How much longer? I'll let you know. Up next, we have the new year with a new companion in the pilot, Linda and Terry Miles.
Well, thank you, Linda and Terry Miles. Okay, well, before
another mixed season coming up with good and bad, but mostly good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this, yeah.
Okay, so bit of a disappointment, really, to be. I know I haven't been around for much recently because I've been exceptionally busy, but come on, guys.
You have? Hadn't noticed.
I'm supposed to fill up a feedback section for the show. Right, what else was I going to do? Oh yeah, Doctor Who news before we move on to the small talk part of the show. Right. I had a page up and it just disappeared. Hang on, bear with me. It's not much, to be fair.
I had the same thing happen.
What normally happens in these things is, sorry?
Maybe it's someone's getting into your computer and changing things.
Ernie Vinchay. Sorry, yes, I can't say the name. I do apologise. Anyway, he died at the age of 81, and he was the director of photography for 38 episodes of Doctor Who between 2005 and 2009, responsible for the camera work and the lighting on each episode. He was in charge of the entire first series of the revived show in 2005, looking after each episode of the 9th Doctor's era before completing the Christmas special, introducing the 10th Doctor. So yeah, so that's the only bit of news we've had since last week. Okay. Now, before we talk about, because I have to say, sorry, Mary, I was a bit rude of me when you said the other day about, I suppose we're just going to be talking about FantasyCon. I didn't consider that we should really talk about it, because obviously I bunged out the episode last week that contained the stage Q&As, and although there weren't really Qs, to be fair, interviews with Paul. And I thought, wow, actually I haven't really spoken about it much. So Debbie, you were there, obviously Terry Miles was there, and I'm fairly confident that you've probably seen the little video thing I created.
I like that.
Pardon?
That was a lot of fun.
I haven't seen it yet, but I want to, yeah.
So I'm quite willing to discuss FantasyCon now. It's sort of, it's not so stressful at this stage.
Now it's over.
But
and apparently you're going to do it again next year. I saw that in a video.
When did you see that? I haven't seen a video. Well,
someone shout, do you want to do it again?
And what did Debbie say? No, I haven't posted that video. We did a meeting at.
Someone posted a video where whoever's your MC.
Yeah,
asked the audience.
No. You talk about Paul Wilson, who asked the question, and I said, you better ask Debbie, not that one, the other one.
Yeah, but the audience seemed to like it. Therefore,
yeah, but the audience aren't organising it, are they? It's all right. All I have to do is part with their money and turn up and then bugger off home again. As we found, thanks to Janet Clay's inside information, turn up, spend most of the day at the event, hand their tickets over to somebody who hadn't paid, and let them come in for free. So, and things like that. What's the other thing we discovered? Oh, cosplayers.
You
Guest
had
cosplayers.
one of those things happen.
Guest cosplayers. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just tell my friends to come along and say that you're coming along as my guest, and not pay to come in. Well, do you think we're just paying for this out of thin air? Just,
really?
For God's sake.
So what?
People would do that.
Because people don't understand how.
I stopped a couple of people taking wristbands. But, I came with a few kids meaning to be runners for you. But when we got to Debbie, she was like, no, we've already got everybody. So next year I will pay full price for all of us.
Hang on, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking
I know,
about.
But I'm just saying,
these are invited. People are invited to the event. I said, okay, you can bring a guest along with you, sort of thing. But it was sort of getting to the Mickey taking stage this time round. Like I say, I don't think people realise the costs that go into running an event of that size. And obviously I've heard people moan about the prices and stuff like that. Again, that comes back to how much do you think it costs to run it? Where are we supposed to get the money from? The idea or the ideal thing would be to get the money from a very generous corporate sponsor. We have a generous sponsor, as in Richard Quigley, who's a local MP, but he's also a very good friend of mine, and he's been pumping money into the event for the last 3 events, but we can't run the whole shebang on that particular donation. I always thought that when we started it that we'd run it privately for a few years, and somebody say, actually, this is really fab, I'm going to put some money in this, which happens in other events, not in ours, because I think it's because we're on the Isle of Wight, I don't know. But so these people come along and say, oh, it's really expensive. Well, the ones you go to that aren't so expensive and may have, bigger stars out or whatever, have got humongous funding, like the MCMs and the Showmasters and, things like that. Even like the ones in America that have humongous funding, like the San Diego Comic-Con. They must have billions of dollars that get ploughed into that event. Otherwise, it wouldn't be the full. I know people also want to promote their shows and stuff like that there, but there's a lot of mutual funding going on to actually stage the event. So we have to do it in a way that, yes, let's try and make it fun and bring some stars to it. But the only way we can fund that is by people buying tickets, which they did this year, and they were fantastic. I'm sort of slightly overwhelmed by the amount of people that came along to support us and enjoy the day. And I've had people come up to us and say how wonderful it was. We were at Southampton Comic Con, me and Debbie. This is number one Debbie on Saturday, and we were sat in the Costa and at the venue, and some bloke comes, oh, your event's much better than this. And I thought, oh, thank you very much. So. Yeah, I felt it was, to be fair. I felt that I was more or less done Southampton Comic Con after about an hour and a half. I was quite happy to stay on, but it was very difficult to just
Tom
walking around.
I only realised it was on by seeing your pictures. And he was like, "Have we missed a con?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll just find out from Adam if it was any good."
It's worth going to. We've got to bear in mind, obviously, once you get to Southampton, you've got to get to Eastleigh and stuff like that. But I took the car over because Deb wanted to do shopping, Christmas shopping at Primark and whatnot. So, excuse me. So we had the car over. So we killed 2 birds with one stone and just drove up to Eastleigh.
Master, how at FantasyCon? How do you have actual tickets, and how did someone sneak in?
Right, well, we're not going to do it again next year the way we have done it for the last 3 years. So you buy your ticket online, you have it, you either have your code or the ticket on your phone, or you print it out and bring that along. Now, the people that printed them out and brought them along, they would be let in and they get a wristband. But we made the mistake of, because we're honest people and expect other people to be honest back, of letting them keep their tickets. So they would then spend their 4 hours at the event and then go, hand their pieces of paper to somebody who hadn't paid. They would then come and show up the same ticket to our check-in people and get in for free.
So you don't like scan the tickets.
That may be something that will happen in future.
Yeah, you'll have to do that.
Yeah, the trouble is we got a decided limit of the amount of machines we can use. The phone I was using to do card payments, that can't also be used to scan tickets in. So we're a bit.
I understand.
Stuffed.
I understand.
No, we haven't got enough mobile devices to do that.
I had something similar happen about 40 years ago. No, it was about 35 years ago. I was part of registration for WindyCon in Chicago, and at the time, what you got as your ticket, your ticket or your means of going around the convention so people would know that you belong there, was a name badge. But in those days, most name badges were just pieces of cardboard in a little plastic thing that you wore on your shirt or whatever. And I had to go across the street from the convention to a copy shop to get something copied for the convention. And I caught 3 teenagers copying their name badges. And first of all, I had them immediately kicked out of the convention. But then the next year, we switched to a plastic name badge. There was back in those days, you couldn't do electronic stuff. We were still taking. People were buying memberships as we would take their credit cards and run them through Wacka Wacka machines. So it was that primitive. You know what a Wacka Wacka machine was?
Think so. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, the gadget you put the credit card in and you go Wacka Wacka with it.
Oh, yeah.
Machine in England.
Anyway,
being a Wacka
so
Wacka.
the next the next year we switched to a pre-made plastic name badge that people would write their name on, but those were only given out once we knew that you belonged there, and they couldn't take it across the street.
Well, we've managed to solve the issue we had last year with people who were just wandering into the main hall from the leisure centre by having somebody on the door to check wristbands. The trouble is, we also discovered that people were coming in through the big door at the other end that leads out to the food vans. So, and one of the observer photographers came in through there without being checked in by the staff. So now we have to have somebody on the main entry to the main hall, both main entries to the main hall, I should say. So there's things you learn as you go along. I'm not. Well, it's frustrating because obviously every single penny counts when you've got things like this. We paid for everything, and there's something in the pot for next year. But it's just things you learn. You want people to be honest, and that's the frustrating side of things. We got things around the Isle of Wight called honesty shops. So it's like somewhere out in Binstead, there's a little hut that does milk, so you can get fresh milk from it. That's probably pasteurised on the farm that it's connected to. So they expect people to put their money in this little pot and take the milk without anybody at the shop, and it's a similar sort of thing with this. And that's why they think we're in it for the money, which obviously we're not. We're in it for the fun.
Yeah,
really.
Your photographer guy probably looked like he belonged there, which is.
Did he?
I'm saying that's probably how he snuck in.
My photographer.
You said it was a photographer.
No,
who came in through
our photographer. The photographer from the
photographer
I see, from the Observer, a local newspaper. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I suppose he did, but it's also a case that
it's kind of like the old 007 trick of
what's probably happened there, Kirby. Sorry to interrupt. But what's probably happened is he's gone. People have gone to the right and walked under the bridge and just see what was outside, and then just walked in. So that's going to be obviously looked into. It's little things. It's not dishonesty coming through that door. It's just, I've gone down this way instead of that way, and I've just walked in. Although they might have been
Well,
a
the
bit
trouble
more
is,
honest
it's right next to the changing rooms. So people were just wandering in because they were already through the.
Yeah, I suppose they could have said, I haven't got my ticket. Where do I get my ticket from? But no, they've walked in for free, so they might as well carry on. And some people came up, said, when the girls come up to the main desk, said, "Okay, I'd like to have 2 tickets, please." And Judith said, "Okay, well, it's 2 adults, £15." Oh, somebody said it was £2. It said on the website it was £2. No, it bloody well did not say on the website it was £2.
What?
So, yeah.
What kind of convention would it be if tickets for 2?
There's nowhere, anywhere that it said it was £2.
Someone in the Mr. Blobby outfit.
Oh, that's all right. Then you can come in for £2. Yeah, if you saw it somewhere else on the. Show me then. Show me where you saw it as £2.
Show me where you saw it, dear.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, it was all good fun. I say all good fun. So you have that big build up. I didn't have to bring any celebrities into the event, so my stress levels were quite low at the beginning.
Oh yeah, that's unusual for you. Normally
I didn't
you
want
have to
I
bring
didn't
ones
want
in.
to be doing that, because what I wanted to be doing was setting up the card payment machine, making sure that was working properly. Because everything was. I was a bit stressed that 2 of the celebrities hadn't turned up for what we wanted to do at half 9 in the morning, which is a group shot of the organisers and the celebrities together. But Jenny Linden and Rosalind Lander hadn't actually turned up by that point because their
I love
agent...
they came straight to the Doctor Who table going, where am I supposed to be? And I nearly went, here, sit with me.
But no, it's Jenny's lovely, but it was all to be fair that the agent that I had to deal with for them to didn't care about anybody but himself, to be fair, and
It was the agent.
I'm not going to spin too much about it, but I won't be getting any more people from him in future, because they ripped us off something chronic about the travel expenses. But on the other side of things, Rosalind Lander's a lovely lady, and Jenny Linden's a lovely lady, but everybody was supposed to be there at 9:30, and all that their representative could say, Jenny's a really old lady, she can't leave her house till 10, and that Rosalind has got a bad back or something like that, which means... her bad foot, sorry, so she didn't want to walk from the hotel to the venue, which the hotel was next door, obviously, but, a lift would have been forthcoming. I told everybody that Red Funnel had sponsored us, so therefore travel over the zone was free, and they tried all they could to dodge that particular free part of the fee. Not the fee, the free part of the travel, which saved us a fortune, and then of course we had to pay it back in. I, to be honest, forgot to book a hotel room for Ross Sandbridge, which was quite embarrassing, so we had to pay for that on the spot. So there's a few little bits and bobs. I'm old, you see, I forget stuff, but in future I'll be a bit more spreadsheety. I've been fairly spreadsheety this time, but I'm going to be a bit more spreadsheety next time. Like because what Robin Flux said was we need a guest list. He turned up to host a cosplay competition, and they said, well, you haven't got a ticket, so there'll be a guest list. It's all little things you learn every year. You learn something, and certainly learned quite a lot about little bits and bobs. I also learned that there's scope for a Comic-Con on the Isle of Wight, because it was exceptionally well attended.
It was so good, Adam. It really was. The feeling there, the atmosphere was
terrific. It was a good buzz, yeah.
Yeah. The only complaint that we had was the neurodiverse kids couldn't hang out in the main hall when the wrestlers were on.
Oh.
Because of the noise. Isla came running in with about 6 people. That's why I had a load of people around my table.
Yeah, but this is the second year running that nobody's utilised the quiet room upstairs, which was open from 1:30 onwards.
I wasn't actually aware of it.
No, that's because, like I say, it wasn't. Again, it was because I think they won't let us have it until 1:30. It's difficult, when you wander around running the event, to let people know there's a quiet room upstairs.
That would have been really handy, because at one point I had them all around my table, just letting them all decompress, and then obviously Debbie got a little cross about that, so I had to usher them outside. But yeah, it was a case of I was just decompressing kids for a minute.
Well, be mindful. You will know there's a quiet room upstairs from 1:30 onwards, and it was exceptionally quiet this year and last year because nobody actually used it. So so like I say, the stress levels were quite low.
Great, yeah.
The stress levels were quite low when it came up to the build up. We were just.
I loved being next to Duncan this year. That was.
Well, you won't be next to him next year because nobody really wanted photo ops. So unfortunately, there won't be a professional photographer next
I
time.
was going to have a photo, but unfortunately, one of the kids I brought couldn't get her money out, so I gave her my cash for my picture with Sylvester McCoy.
So, hang on a sec. So, oh yeah, okay, I know what you mean. I was going to crack a joke then, but I couldn't think of what I was going to say. What was I on about?
No, it was really good to meet fans, and obviously Linda and Terry. Lovely to see them.
Yeah.
It's like Terry came up to me, and for a minute I was like blankly looking at him because I had about 60 things going on in my brain. He's like, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course I bloody do." So I apologise, Terry and Linda. But
Terry, she didn't remember you,
Yeah,
Terry.
it was just so good, and I went and had a good look round and spoke to a lot of the stall holders, and they were having a cracking time, and yeah, it was just such good fun. And then Adam dragged me on stage, and I'm sat there going, "What?"
Yeah, that was supposed to be a Doctor Who fan panel, which I've missed since number 1, and we were supposed to
And
do
it
one last year.
wasn't. It was going
But I
on
had
about the con. I'm like, I've got no business being
but
on
last
this.
year we had a first aid issue. No problem. Didn't we? So I thought, well, let's do something to fill the gap because it was on the schedule, and then of course Paul span it completely opposite to what was supposed to happen, which sort of was a bit bamboozling.
I'm just sat there going, I'm not meant to be here, and you can see everybody looking at me like, who's she?
Well, it doesn't matter. It was
I
done.
know who you are.
But you do, yeah.
So anyway.
So, Adam, you said that there were no photo ops. What is
There
a
were,
con
but I'm not going to
photo
do. I'm not
ops?
going to do them. That was the
No,
last time we'll have them
didn't take
because
part.
nobody
People didn't take part.
wants, because basically when you can get a selfie at the table with the celebrity guest, what's the point in buying? And you can have it on your phone. You can print it from your phone. What's the point in going to a photographer and getting a professional picture, which is basically a printout?
So, Master,
Again, we have to pay for the photographer.
Were the guests still charging for the selfie?
Yeah.
That's part and parcel of it.
Yeah.
I want them to charge for it because that means we pay them less when it comes to the guarantee.
I was going to say that's part of what the guests want.
Yeah, exactly. So they also get a large proportion of the professional photo op as well. But the fact is, we had a great system this year in which the people would buy their photo ops. We've had them online before and nobody buys them. But this time, buy the photo op straight from the photographer, and they give them a ticket, and then they come at the scheduled time. We probably sold more this year than we've done in previous years, but there still wasn't enough to warrant getting a professional photographer in, which we have to pay. So we're looking at things that are not worth paying for because nobody really wants them. So that money will then go into the pot to fund something else.
Yeah.
There's loads of bits and bobs like that. I mean, I like Duncan. I love having
I used to not use the professional photographers until maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and I've done it at practically every Doctor Who convention I've been to since I discovered it was something I could afford. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, at Chicago TARDIS, there are no selfies. Everything is professional photography.
Yeah, but at ours, the Southampton Comic Con, Colin did have a big queue of himself with the TARDIS, but Susan Twist and Katrin Stewart their shoots took about 5 minutes each. Very small amount of people went for them, but they were selling. Selfies and combos, which was an autograph and a selfie at their table. So, I mean, if I could get a professional photographer in for free, then yeah, that's fine. We could potentially.
That's not going to happen.
Basically, his job's there, and he's trying to make money. Is to do cosplay photos for most of the day, and then spend a bit of time doing professional photo ops with the celebs, but like I say, it's not worth doing. I did it in FancyCon too, and again, I think I only had Rhys Oakley come up and have a picture done, and a couple of others. The only good thing about that particular shoot is I got a nice picture or nice portrait of Michael Jaston, who's obviously no longer with us. But like I say, it's part of the learning process. We know now what we're good at in regards to bringing people to the event, and what we shouldn't have at the event because it's a waste of time. And also Duncan or a professional photographer not being at the event frees up a bit of space, maybe to extend the Doctor Who zone or move it around a bit so we can extend the Joker Squad area. So there's lots of scope. Maybe even make the Harry Potter area a bit bigger. So there's lots of things we can do with the spare space. The only thing that was a bit of a surprise for me was how popular the wrestling was. I know you said that there were people that weren't happy with the noise, but they had an audience there all the time, and we may have to just decide how to reposition people. But I didn't have any complaints from most of the traders that are around it, which would have had to put up without screaming and shouting all the time. So yeah, that was really fab. The wrestling was a big highlight, and having Quivers there as well was really good fun. I'm hoping Quivers to come back next year, because I know that Quivers is a great Doctor Who fan, hence the outfit that they were wearing. But anyway, so yeah, the first bit went wrong again because we didn't have the group shot with all the celebs, although Reese was moaning about not having had things signed by the guests, yet he managed to get a group shot with 4 of them. Funny that. He asked for all the agents' email addresses and stuff. I'm not going to do that. So he could try and get autographs of the guests that he forgot to get, even though he was with them all bloody day. And got a group shot. So I'm whinging, but just a bit. Sometimes people will take the mickey.
It was brilliant though. Honestly, it was just the kids have been on a high. Isla finally found her tribe at the con. She's been talking non-stop with the new friends.
The funny thing is, Debbie, right? When I got a phone call from Wendy Padbury a few days before the event, because her adopted son. Josh, she wanted to invite him along as her special guest. No problem with that. So when Josh arrived, before she did, I escorted him to her table so she'd come in and find him there. When she phoned me, she said, he wanted him to, like you say, find his tribe sort of thing. But I sort of just deposited him at the table, and there was a big sort of fond greeting between him and Wendy, and then I forgot about it. So I don't know if he ever did find his tribe.
Oh, should have sent him to our table.
Maybe I should have. I know he had a walk around. He came and watched Wendy's Q&A, and I think he might have watched Sylvester's as well, which was fab. I saw some video of it somewhere, but I can't remember where I saw it. But it's such a fab thing. If I ever find it, I'll put it on the page. But it's when Wendy Padbury asked Sylvester McCoy who the best companion ever was. And he wasn't allowed to say Sophie. That's on the podcast last time, so if you want to hear that particular thing,
it was great being in the hall with the Q&As, so I could actually hear them. That was terrific.
Yeah, we're not going to move that. It wasn't very audible, so there's been a bit of a dispute between Roy and Paul in regards to the sound. So Roy next time is going to drop out of doing it altogether and leave it, but put it over to Paul, who's convinced he can sort the sound out. So we'll see what happens with that one. I haven't told Paul that yet, but I'm sure he'll be absolutely thrilled. So obviously having Richard open the event, that was a last minute idea of mine, and Richard, like I say, has been a big sort of contributor to FantasyCon for the last 3 events, and it was quite right that he should be the man to open it, and that was really good fun as well. We had a queue actually at opening time. The Isle of Wight, ladies and gentlemen, the Isle of Wight is a very chilled society. Queuing is for an event is not the sort of thing they normally do. They will normally roll up as the day goes on. But the queue at the beginning meant that we also learnt that not to open the cosplay competition registration immediately, because it was full by after an hour, so all 35 slots were taken, and people were turning out at midday wanting to enter the competition and couldn't.
Yeah, people were coming in on the ferry late and couldn't enter the competition, so I had to come round and go, "Can somebody reopen the competition? People are upset."
Well, they have to be upset, but unfortunately we won't. We'll probably open it about 11 or 12 next time. But it's nice people coming over. Hope it won't put them off. Then maybe I'll just make them come over a bit earlier. But yeah, it's amazing. And also that meant that the Red Funnels special offer the word got around on the mainland, and Red Funnel gave us this humongous sign for the brick zone. Which I only just about managed to fit in my tiny shed with my Dalek and other peripherals. And they said, "Oh yeah, well, keep it, and then you can use it again next year." So I emailed them a few days ago. You said we can use it again next year. Oh yeah, we totally intend to resume our support with the same capacity
Hooray!
once we've had a meeting to decide it, a budget meeting.
Good. That's
Yeah,
good.
but they haven't actually had. I think they said December or something like that. They're going to have a meeting to decide about budgets and what they're supporting or not. But yeah, so it's not. No, it's not cast iron. So nothing official about FantasyCon 5 will go out until it's been confirmed or not with Red Funnel, because we can't really do it without them, because we need to be able to afford to get people over, and they give us a pot. And we work to that pot. Joker Squad will definitely be over if it does happen, because Joker Squad
they were fantastic
as usual, and they
them.
want to expand slightly as well. So I was hoping to get some Ghostbusters over. We wanted to get them over last year, but it clashed with another event, so that didn't happen. Something's come through on the live feed. It says, Lily and Robin, it looked like a lot of fun at the convention. I wish I could figure out how to get there. $2 or should that have been pound? Don't know. I'm pretty sure there's an exchange rate.
Yeah.
If there's an exchange rate, then that would be $, and pound. I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Something like that. Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, it's just a case of, it's really odd, 'cause the first time Debbie's actually, my Debbie, was able to actually stop and have some lunch.
Yes.
Isabella and Owen were amazing as support organisers. So that really did help, having them sort of working really, really hard. I did 24,000 steps that day. So I was obviously busier than I thought I was. And actually being able to see and take photos there was nice. Go outside, have a burger, speak to people, see people having fun, and come away feeling, even though we're absolutely knackered by the time we finished on that Saturday night, that we'd done a good thing, and hopefully that,
of course,
people will be up for coming again next time, and maybe even more people. I know of quite a few people who didn't come that I would have expected to have come, and hopefully they will come again.
Yeah, I missed a few people who said they were probably coming, but there's a few people I went, hey, thought you were coming, and they were busy or poorly or something happened.
But it wouldn't work without the efforts of I called Keris and Judith the linchpins, because obviously they're the check-in, everyone, they've done that for 4 events running, and they also, all they see is people coming in, paying money and going through. So this year I was determined to get them into the hall and have a picture with Sylvester or whoever.
It was nice to walk around a bit, and thank you for getting me a picture with Sylvester. That was cracking.
Oh yeah, I thought he was someone else, so yeah, we'll just have to ride with that one. Alistair was there as well, and he very kindly gave me a signed bit of artwork of Sylvester.
This time,
I mean, I came home and Deb said, "Oh, Alistair gave me this for you." This is my Debbie, obviously, and it was an envelope. Opened up, and it was basically the same prize that Terry Miles won. We haven't mentioned that yet, have we? Alistair did a raffle for Sylvester's favourite charity.
Rigged.
Yeah, Sylvester drew the ticket out, and it was.
If it'd been rigged, I would have won it.
It was Terry Miles. So the picture you see in amongst the pictures somewhere is as Terry, Sylvester,
yeah, I saw it.
Alistair, and the artwork, which is identical to the one I've got, but mine says to Adam or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, it's really fun. Lots of really happy memories from the event, and so.
Yeah, I saw that it looked like Julian changed costumes like 4 times.
Who did?
Julian.
Did he?
No,
Yeah.
he was in the same.
No, he was in the Second Doctor for the whole show.
Yeah.
He put on the 6th Doctor coat at some point.
Oh, he had the coat on. That's Alistair's coat.
Try that on.
Yeah, basically the coat. Basically, Roy has a coat hanger with a few bits of costume on for people to wear in front of our array of cardboard cutout doctors, one of which was missing, much to my Debbie's annoyance. She thought she bought all of them, but one was missing. Hence why the Woolly 5 was sat on my Dalek for a certain period of time just to fill the gap. So those coats are there, and Alistair said, "Oh, you can put my coat on there if anybody wants their picture taken with the coat." So that was on there. There was a 5th Doctor's coat, a scarf, hats, umbrellas, that people could.
The number of people who tried to walk off wearing the fez, and I just went up and yoink.
Yeah. But,
Whoa.
and then you shot it, right?
Yeah, then I shot it. Nope.
Yeah. But it looked really fab with Chris Kane's Dalek, my Dalek, and Roy's Dalek all together. We had the Joker Squad put one of their droids next to one of the Daleks, which looked really fab. There was lots of stuff, good stuff. I mean, it started off, Ross Sandbridge was frog marched to the Q&A stage by a load of stormtroopers and whatnot, which was really quite cool. We didn't have any Wookiees, unfortunately, because obviously Ross played a rookie, a Wookiee, not a rookie, in the Solo film. What's it called again? Han Solo film. He was a Wookiee in that one.
Yes, it's called. So that really tall guy was actually Chewbacca.
No, he was a Wookiee.
One of them.
A Wookiee in the Solo film, but he was Snoke in the Episode 8 film. He was a body double.
Oh, okay.
For
Yeah,
Andy
I
Serkis.
saw him. I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
So
he was our Star Wars rep. But yeah, I mean, it's just so much. I mean, I've got so much footage as well. I condensed it down for about 5 minutes, and there's other stuff I need to do with photos
it was
and stuff
excellent.
like that.
Thank you for the view of the convention.
I hope it sort of gave a good flavour as to the event. Obviously, it's a spin-off from this show. It's sort of the only thing I get out of it is the stage talks. Last year that sort of failed a little bit, but fortunately this year the sound feed correctly worked and I was able to record everything. But there was lots of other stuff going on, and yeah, the day went quite quickly. But it was, as I say, it's the first time I've got any enjoyment out of it this year, to be fair. Debbie says there was lots of people coming up to the 20 megabyte table saying that they listened to the show, but those figures are not,
Yeah, I had
represented.
people going, yeah, we listened to the show. And I'm like, comment, come on, listen when it's
Yeah,
live.
they need to comment.
Yeah, but
I
those
kept
figures are not
saying
represented
feedback,
at the moment.
Feedback.
We've got one person watching this. I know it's not a podcast, but when I go to the website, we get 58 downloads on average per episode. But I think we get more streams than that. But it's not like it used to be, because there's so many podcasts out there, Doctor Who podcasts or anything. I mean, we're probably the second longest running Doctor Who podcast in Britain, maybe third. I don't know. We've still been around for a while, but.
Yes, we've been around for quite some time.
But it does lead me on to, I don't know what the hell to do next time, because we're apparently supposed to celebrate milestone episodes, and I have a funny feeling this is likely to be the last milestone episode, because I can't see myself lasting another 100 episodes from 600 to 699, to be fair, because I mean it's
and I only updated my calendar for the time changes for the next year because I don't know if we're going to make it past then. So,
well, obviously we've still got the rest of Capaldi and Whittaker to do, maybe over the next year or so. It's not enough. Pardon? Yeah, I know, but it won't. It's not enough. I know, but it's not enough to take us to 700. Just saying, I'm pretty sure there's not enough.
Yeah, but there'll be more episodes by then.
No, there won't, Debbie.
Yeah, one more season.
There might not be very much of me. Oh no, apparently there's more rumours afoot that there will be a Series 16. But Kirby says not. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Right.
Okay, I'll just talk to myself.
I said right.
Oh, did you say okay? Right.
Yeah, we only have one more season of Shooty to go, and then we're in the.
Oh,
the
talking of
Shooty,
Shooty, Mary. Talking of Shooty, well segued, because on November the 16th, I'm just make sure I've got the date right, me and Debbie number one are going to London Winter Comic Con.
Yay!
Yay!
Where on the 16th, if everything goes to plan, Shooty Gatwa will be attending, and the plan is Alistair, who, when I said to Alistair, is it alright if I take your coat to London Winter Comic Con and get Shooty Gatwa to wear it in a photo shoot? He said, no, don't like Shooty Gatwa. So,
oh dear.
But when I saw him at the event, okay, I've decided you can take my coat to because basically I've had his coat for probably about a year and a half, so I took it to the event expecting him to take it home with him, and he says, oh no, you can take my coat home and you can take it to London Comic Con and see if you can get Shooty to wear it in the photo shoot. I'm okay, fine. So he obviously had a rethink on that one. It's a Doctor, whether he likes the Doctor or not, it's the Doctor wearing his exquisite Sixth Doctor coat. I think I mentioned something of this to Colin on Saturday, and he sort of sneered a little bit about the idea of it. It might be just because Shooty looks good in anything he wears, basically. So that actually probably suits Shooty more than it did Colin, but he didn't say that. But it was rolling around my mind.
Make it look glamorous.
It should hang off of Shooty.
Yeah, he looked
He's
great.
so much smaller.
He's annoyingly. He can wear anything, can't he? Basically, it's very frustrating when people can do that. So yeah, it'd be frustrating. I would like to see his reaction to potentially. I'll have it on me, obviously, and I'll hand over to him. And if I'm allowed to, obviously, might not be allowed to. But another person of Doctor Who interest going to that particular event is Millie Gibson. But
have her wear the coat, yeah.
Oh, but I haven't got a photo up with her yet. Oh my God!
What?
Wait.
Michael Sheen's going. Right, that's it.
Yeah!
I missed out on him.
Sheen too?
Oh, he's got
I'd love him to be the Doctor once, just be the Doctor.
Oh my God.
Just like when we're doing the regeneration, just have Michael Sheen turn up. Like, what? No.
Oh my God! Sorry, we're all excited now. Yeah, we've got to get a photo of that. Oh my God!
Oh my God, you are joking me.
No, it's there. Look, and it's Saturday. Look, appearance info Saturday.
Oh my God!
It's quite expensive, but I'm gonna. Oh, we can't not. We missed out on Michael Sheen at Wales Comic Con a few years ago. Oh wow.
Oh my God!
I'll have to order that. No, I didn't announce. He just come up here. I was just looking to see who else was at the event.
They've just announced him because he wasn't on there yesterday.
He wasn't on there yesterday. They got Richard Dreyfuss going. You might have heard of in Kirby. Richard Dreyfuss is an actor that was in something.
One of the greatest films ever, Jaws. Come on.
Richard Dreyfuss? No, he was in. Oh, he wasn't that, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
There's a few other people you may have heard of, like Chris Barry, David Bradley. Other than that, I haven't heard many of these people. But Michael Sheen. Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
anyway, so we're really excited about that, mainly for me personally, meeting Shooty Gatwa, adding to my list of doctors. Oh, so it's all gone quiet again. Sorry, did we get so excited it blew up the internet?
We're letting you have you moment.
Yeah, so excited. And I've noticed that Tom Baker's
comment on everything.
Tom Baker is Tom Baker's appearing in a audio play of some variety, so he's obviously still making good efforts to maintain working. Lillian Robbins says, "What's the Joker Squad?" The Joker Squad is a mainland outfit.
Put up a picture of the Joker Squad for Lillian.
Who
cosplay
and make costumes for a Star Wars troupe, and they also make props and stuff like that. They're on the video, so if you see anybody dressed in any sort of Star Wars gear, it's the Joker Squad. And
why are they called the Joker Squad?
I just
if
said don't ask.
Star Wars.
I've just said right. I've got to look it up now. I said don't ask me, so I wouldn't have to look it up. So now I've got to look it up. Cheers, Kirby. Debbie, just tell everybody about your experiences at the event while I research this for Kirby.
No, it's not for me.
No, I'm talking about Debbie.
Yeah, I guess
Debbie.
It is.
Debbie.
What
are your memories of FancyCon while I look up this particular information about the Joker Squad?
Well, just how absolutely welcoming and wonderful everyone was, and
I
just
wasn't.
how. Is that all you needed?
That was quick.
I think Tom might have come up to me and said, "Oh, can you make sure that Debbie gets a picture with Professor McCoy?" Or something. I think and that's when you walked up the corridor and I was getting the pictures with Karis and Judith. I thought, right, get in here.
Yeah, because you were like, Debbie, come here, and I'm like, what
I did,
now?
because I know you try your best to avoid having pictures of people that you then say afterwards you wanted to have a picture with them. Gabriel Geister.
I just got shouted at and told to come with you, so I was like, okay.
Right, now I've got the answer.
Go on then.
It's from Wikipedia, that reliable source of information. It says Joker Squad was a stormtrooper squad in the Imperial Army of both the Fell Empire and, years later, Darth Krayt's Galactic Empire. It was part of Company C, Battalion 9 of the 407th Stormtrooper Division, and its members were called Jokers. Okay.
See,
That's
I thought
why
it
they're
had
called.
something to do with Batman. Sorry.
I'm Batman.
You're not familiar with
I should
Star
not have done
Wars.
that. My throat hurt.
Am I right to say that? You're not familiar with Star Wars, Kirby?
That's actually how you do the ghost voice.
So, am I right to say that you're not familiar with Star Wars?
I am familiar with Star Wars, but not that deeply familiar.
Okay, well, I'm not. Well, now you know. So, Joker
I
Squad
have
is a
not
legitimate
seen it
name.
all, unfortunately. Sorry.
Right, so this brings us back to episode 600, which will be our next instalment of the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast. I feel we might get a bit sidetracked with the show itself. So I think we're probably best to begin Bill's sort of era as a companion of the show. Maybe just have a bit of a, talk about random stuff next week. I don't know. What can we do? I mean, or do we just say, it's only episode 600, that doesn't matter?
It's only
we
episode
should do
600.
like a review and just, where we all are compared to where we were when it began. And
Well, I'm sat in this room
maybe,
like I was. I'm not sat in the car or anything. I've done it before. Yeah, we could reminisce, couldn't we, I suppose?
Yeah, so we'll talk about the pilot. We'll talk about the pilot for 15 minutes and then reminisce.
No, so let's still do the pilot. Okay, I don't mind doing that. Yeah, okay, we'll just say, pilot and then reminisce. We'll do that then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is that all right,
We've been
Mary? I know
doing
you've
this
got
for
Mary. I know you've got
quite
fond
a long
memories
time.
of the last 100 episodes of the show. I haven't got any memories of the last 100 episodes of the show, so I might have to dip into the audio archive and pick out some random stuff. But we'll see how we go. Or we could do a quiz, Mary.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, dear.
Quiz. I would love to
Or just replay an old quiz we did a few years ago.
bring on the quiz.
We could even get Ben back on the show. Yeah, we could get
You want
Ben
me
back
to
on the
do
show
the
for one
quiz?
episode.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Master, you've been on the show the longest. This is your show. I mean, I'm looking at the spreadsheet, and Mary's been on the show over 12 years.
Doesn't look any different though, does she? Even notice that?
And
Mary's age.
I've been on the show for since 2011. My goodness.
I've been on for 10 years this April gone.
Kirby's trying his hardest to bore us. Time to make a cup of tea. You know he's going to ignore us. Maybe you will go for a wee. I just thought I'd play that just for the fun of it.
Yeah, Debbie, you're correct. Your first episode was April the 21st, 2014, and was Day of the Daleks.
Yep.
Do you remember when we used to do? There was a chap called Alan Butcher who used to do feedback every single week, and we do
Oh, yeah.
He's amazing.
in his
You
feedback.
used to pass his feedback around like a hot potato.
Yeah,
Just
we
one
did.
of us felt like we
Please,
could do it well.
no, not me this week. Not me this week.
Yeah, it's a
And-
shame. We were reminiscing about this next time. Probably not this time.
Yeah.
But there's loads of stuff we can talk about.
Because I'm always listening back to our previous times for whatever it is we're talking about, and it's interesting listening to our standard feedback people 8, 9, 10 years ago, which is many of whom don't. Hey, where's Captain Kirk's this week?
Maybe he didn't think we were going to do one this week. I don't know.
We have been quite erratic with when we're on and who's on and things like that, so maybe he's lost a bit of interest. Well, let's hope
Maybe
he
he
comes
has.
back often. Maybe we could
Maybe
ask
he's lost
people-
interest. That says it all, doesn't it?
Well, no. Well, maybe we could ask people for the 600th episode to send in feedback and stories.
Yeah, go on then,
about
Kirby.
something.
So tell people to send in their reminiscences over the last
Yeah,
600
you know.
episodes.
Okay, I will ask
Yeah.
that of people either late tonight or tomorrow, way earlier than I normally ask for feedback.
Yes.
And I'll tag some people.
Because it's going to be our big birthday. Then I think we should get everyone who's listening or who has listened. Maybe I'll approach Alan or something and ask him to send something.
Yeah,
for our
tell him he
600.
has to. It doesn't have to be about episodes that he hasn't been bothered to watch for a while. He could just do one about the show itself, couldn't he?
Exactly.
Tell him that if you
Yeah.
don't do that, you won't ever vote for him again. He won't realise you're not in his region.
I'm not in his constituency, but I'll pass the message on.
Yeah, but if you just said that out loud.
Who was it like 8, 9, 10 years ago? He used to always write in. He was somebody or other from
Mr.
North
M?
Hollywood.
From where?
North Hollywood.
Oh, I don't know.
Dr. Phil, wouldn't it?
No. I'll have to go back and listen.
Yeah.
There was a woman. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, she was in Hollywood. That used to actively listen and react. Oh, trying to remember her name.
Well, let's investigate, and we can see if we can get people to just reminisce with us.
Come back. Hey, Mordor, where shall take you?
Right. Anyway, I'm getting all excited about the prospect
Oh,
of.
good. We made you excited about it.
No, shut up. No, it's Michael Sheen. Obviously, Kirby.
You made him excited. Oh, don't.
No, that's just it's Michael Sheen. Wow.
No.
You started floating up in the air.
Yeah. All right, so next time, like the guys said, obviously we're not going to do what we watched this week because I can't be asked. I haven't had time to watch anything. There's a new thing coming on Disney Plus, isn't there? It's called Rivals, written by Julie Cooper. I'm going to be watching that.
I've watched stuff.
Oh,
I've watched Agatha all along.
Are you quite keen on talking about what you
I'm
watched?
enjoying that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm loving it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll talk about that next time.
And I saw again Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde 1920 last week.
Okay.
Live theater organ accompaniment, which was great.
Okay. Don't think I've got anything
And
else.
I don't remember if I told you I went to see Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
a few weeks ago.
I need to go to the cinema.
Oh, wow.
I haven't been there for so long.
That's brilliant.
Right, while I'm ordering these tickets.
Actually, that was the first time I'd been in a non-revival theater where it wasn't a silent film since the
But that was a bit
pandemic.
creepy.
Right, I'm gonna sign off now.
unusual.
What did you say?
Excuse me?
I'm going to
You
sign
said
off
it was
now.
unusual being in a modern cinema.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm going to sign off now because I've got stuff I need to do before they
You've got to
sell
book your
out.
tickets quick, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, well, thanks, anyone, and have your party hats on and everything next time. And please, everybody who actually listen to this show, it is our 600th. Please send something in so we've got something to talk about and gush about. Not a lot of podcasts get to 600, do they?
I will tag people, but I'm not sure I'll be able to get to it until tomorrow for posting the request.
Okay. But until then, thank you for listening, watching, taking part in the show. And goodbye.
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Bye-bye.
Scarecrow.
I did Scarecrow, but Mary was being absolutely joyful, so my little Scarecrow got completely lost. There you go, Scarecrow.
It probably comes out on the main audio.
Was the woman in Hollywood, was her name Laurie something?
I think
Something
that
like
sounds
that.
about right.
Laurie
Nix? Laurie Nix.
Yeah,
Laurie
Laurie
Nix.
Nix.
Laurie,
That's it.
yes,
Laurie
I
Nix.
still friends with her on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, she used to send me stuff from Gallifrey a couple of times.
Yeah, she's been to Gallifrey, right?
Obviously, our show went downhill. Maybe it's when we stopped doing the quizzes and stuff. Maybe that's when she stopped listening.
Mm-hmm.
The 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production, sponsored by whowon.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are proud members of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended. The music on this podcast is covered by limited online music license from PRS for Music.